So today, guys, we're going to talk over the TechMan editions, the credit hold edition. I'm Gerd Ibarra, or Gerd, and I'm a Dynamics NAV consultant here at TechMan. And we'll move on to some different scenarios which are thrown together. So we'll just run through some different things that sort of show what the credit hold edition can do. Right, okay, so I'll just jump back onto the held documents, and now I will run through some different scenarios. In this scenario, guys, we are going to put on a sales order for a customer, and this sales order will throw the customer over their limit, so they'll be over the limit with this order. So we'll then attempt to post the sales order without releasing the document, and then we'll review the user setup screen and try to release the document, and then we'll release the document. So, sorry guys, that is a lot to take in, but I'll talk you through as we do it. Okay, guys. So first things first, right from the very top, guys. So we'll go back to the sales and receivable setup. So currently, we have enabled the credit holding of orders and the credit holding of return orders. So I'm going to go back to the customer card. And as we can see, they are currently well over their credit limit. So balance is 175 grand, but their credit limit is only 10 grand. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just use the sales order button in the ribbon to raise a new sales order for this customer. Just hit maximize on that. Okay, and we've got the header information. I'm just going to put in a line type of item, and to keep it simple, we'll go with the bicycle, and I'll put on a quantity of 1. So I'll just ignore the inventory warning, and now we can see that the total including VAT of this document is 4,700. And they're well over their limit at the moment, so we know that this document should be credit held. But just to show you guys what would happen if I try to post this document without trying to release it or anything, just say post, I can say ship an invoice, and it'll give me a prompt to say, hold on a second, this document must be credit released, credit held reason, over credit limit. So we can't, it's just to demonstrate that we can't post that sales order without going through the released functionality. The credit hold functionality comes in when we release the sales order. Okay, so at the moment, as you can see, guys, so the status field changed from open to credit held, and there's a credit held reason which tells us they are over the credit limit. Okay, so very simply now, guys, we just remember the sales order number 1016. So I will come off this sales order, and I will just navigate to the credit held list. And obviously, guys, in theory, this is just myself doing it as user TR01, but I guess when it's being used in practice, not normal sales orders will now normal sales order processors won't be accessing the credit held list. It will just be, I guess, finance people or whoever you guys decide should be. But just for the example, for this example, so if I jump onto the credit held list, we can see now that order number 1016 is being held, and the reason is it's over the credit limit. So as we can see, the balance over the credit limit has changed, and we've now got the figures updated relevantly. Okay, so as we saw earlier on the user setup screen, I was currently set up to have nothing allowed to me. So if I just go back there before we try this, I'll just go to the user setup screen, and I am currently logged in as hosting /TR01 just down here. And as we saw earlier, I'm not a trustworthy user, so I've been trusted with no credit held limit. Okay, so I'll go back to the credit held list, and if I say I want to hit release to try and release this document, it will tell me I don't have permission to release sales documents. Okay, and if I equally go back, oh sorry, not back, I'll go forward to the user setup. I'm going to say edit list, and if I say, for example, just put £1 in there, just for argument's sake, I'll pop in £1, and what I'll do is I'll come back to the credit held list. Again, I will highlight the order that we've just put on, 1016, and I will try to release. And it will give me an error, so you do not have permission to release sales documents with a value of more than £1 GBP. So I guess this is where sort of like the hierarchy comes in and says, yep, this user can have this much, this user can have this much. But let me just show you guys now. If I go forward again to the user setup, I will edit list. And if I change this to 5 grand and just hit OK again. So we know that the total of my order was 4,700. So I've just set my credit limit to 5,000. Again, I'll just go ahead and highlight my order 1016, and I'm going to say release. Okay guys, so as we can see, we're still on the credit held list, and my order 1016 has now disappeared from that list. And as we said earlier, I can either navigate or I can move between the held documents and the release documents. So if I move to the release document, we can see that order number 1016 has now been released. Okay, and we've got sort of the audit trail here to say that the document was released by hosting/tr01 on the 17th of the 3rd, and the document was for the amount of credit released, or the document was for 4,700. Okay, so now just to show you guys, if I go back to my sales orders, I'll jump on to sales order 1016, which is just down here. And we can see it's now got a status of released. So it's now, I guess in your guys' terms, it's now with the warehouse and it can be processed. That would automatically be released when I release it from the credit held screen. If for example, the customer's credit limit was 10,000, they had no transactions, so there was no outstanding balance, and they put on an order, say for example, for 5,000, that would release without any issues whatsoever. If for any reason, after we released sales order 1016, after we said, yeah, we know it's been held by credit, but we say, yeah, that's fine, let this one order through, that's not a problem. But we then got a phone call, and we sort of from the customer or whatever said they couldn't pay. We said, no, we don't want to release that document anymore. We want to put that back on hold. We can go to, from the held document, we can go to release documents, and I can say hold document again from here. So if I just tap that there, as we can see, order 1016 has now disappeared from the release documents, and if I jump back onto the held documents, it's now back in there. So if I just go and show you what's happened on the sales order itself. So this would only be people who have access to the credit held list, and again they would need the appropriate limit on their user setup page to say they can sort of release and hold documents up to this value. If they didn't have permissions to access that page, then they wouldn't. They'd get that the old sort of you do not have permission to read or write to this page sort of thing. And as we saw, guys, so I released that order, but then I said I wanted to hold it again, and I'm back on order 1016, and it said that it's telling me that now credit has been held again, and the reason was it's been held by me as a user, hosting/tr01. So it's just to demonstrate that after we release documents or say they're okay, we can then go back and say, no, let's hold those documents again.